我可以掂佢。佢擺咗喺佢個頭度，之後喺個頭度食啊！賤人。哇！
你抹咗先，使唔使影下你個樣啊？
佢噴嘢
你好多空喺度，
好核突啦！
我哋去你個鏡頭都有，
核突啦！救命啊
！Hello， 大家好，我係菲菲。以下呢條片我將會帶大家眼睛去旅行，費用係完全免費㗎。而家即刻撳翻個 like、subscribe 我呢個菲菲美國生活日誌 channel， 同埋 follow 埋我 Facebook page 同埋 IG 飛for fun啊！今日咧就多咗半日假啦，咁所以咧我一翻完工之後咧，我就即刻趕嚟呢度，呢個叫做 Animal Adventures 啦。咁入邊咧就有好多 rescue 咗嘅動物啦。咁啊，今日咧我哋就唔去 zoo 啦，咁啊盡量都唔好去 zoo。咁我哋就去呢啲rescue animal 嘅 adventures 咧，咁就探下啲動物，可以摸佢哋添。我哋依家就行過去個 main entrance 嗰度咧，去 check-in。佢呢度雖然有 parking lot 啦，但係咧佢嗰啲 spots 就唔係好多啦，即係可能得10幾個位。咁如果你星期6日嚟咧，就可能要早少少嚟霸位。咁佢個 main entrance 就係、佢以為佢有嘢食俾佢啊！哇，好大力啊！
係啊，好玩。
咁打乞嗤啊！
睇翻個臉，
好靚啊！
男同女個名
係咯，我都唔知啊 Pika 男仔就叫 Pika。好靚啊！哇，可唔可以跳落去啊？哇，好驚啊！會啄人。喂，你好靚啊！哇，好長啊！佢嗰啲
有長嗰啲係風啊嘛，
真係唔識喎。
佢吸引女士啊嘛。
哇，咁大嚿啊！大嚿啊！搞笑啊！呢啲唔係箭豬嚟㗎嘛？箭豬嚟㗎。點解呢隻 Kangaroo 咁funny嘅？咁可愛。係啊。
佢有個繩，佢應該可以抱起佢。
好得意啊你！得意啊你
！Sausage. I got. They don't have barbs on the end of their quills like these guys do, but they're actually.
佢好 curious 啊，好得意啊佢，好 friendly 啊呢度啲動物。Hello， 你叫咩名？你係咩嚟㗎？好驚，唔好啦，不如。
有佢啦，你唔掂冇得掂㗎啦，你有乜機會掂啫
Come on. You're a good boy.
好驚啊！
He's an old man, so usually he's kind of grumpy when we try to grab him, but he's a good boy. He won't get any bigger than this.
So soft.
And even though they are the smallest canines, they have the largest ears relative to their size. So he has those huge ears. And the ears help with thermoregulation. So it's kind of like ear conditioning. So what he would do is the blood vessels would enlarge in his ears, and it would help keep him nice and cool. And it also helps him hear prey deep under the sand. These guys are only found in Africa, so are the pale foxes in their pads. And that's so that he can run on the hot desert sand and it won't burn his feet. But these guys are carnivores, so they mostly eat meat. They would hunt small rodents, lizards. They'll eat insects sometimes, and they will get fruit when they're able to. And the fun thing about fennec foxes is because they live in the desert,
they can actually survive without water for an indefinite amount of time.
Wow.
So they can get most of their moisture and stuff from the prey that they're eating.
So those smell is from the gans, but where is the gans? Is here?
The
What do you mean?
So the smell, where are they from? The smell from?
Oh, they're from Africa.
Oh no, I mean so when they're afraid, are they secrete some fluid to smell like this way, right?
So no, that's not really a fear thing. Foxes just smell super musky.
Okay, so it's not from the liquid from.
Yeah, no, that's
secretion.
just their smell.
Okay.
And I always tell people that when people are like, "Let me get a cute fox as a pet," and I'm like, "Do you want that smell in your house?" Because they are super stinky and they're like almost impossible.
哇，好恐怖啊！就咁捉住佢，好恐怖啊！
哇，超酷！居然可以咁樣做。
Just stand back a second until I have him taped, because right now he doesn't have any tape on. There's only 2 species of alligator in the world, the American and the Chinese. We have the Chinese alligators right over there. The American alligators tend to get bigger than the Chinese alligators. American alligators can get about 10 to 15 feet, and Chinese alligators only get about 5 to 7 feet. And you'd also much rather come in contact with an alligator than a crocodile, because alligators see us more as predators and crocodiles see us as prey. So the crocodiles are much more aggressive. You can typically tell an alligator from a crocodile because alligators have U-shaped rounded snouts and crocodiles have V-shaped pointed snouts. Also, alligators tend to only have their top teeth showing. They have a bit of an overbite, but crocodiles usually have teeth showing top and bottom.
Oh, okay.
So the crocodiles look like they need some dental work. And when you pet their back, they have those really hard plates. They're called scutes. And they act essentially as a body armor. A full-grown gator can even harden to the point where they can deflect low-caliber bullets, like a .22. Little guy like this wouldn't be able to do that. But they usually grow about a foot a year for the first 6 years, and then their growth slows down. But they typically live about 50 to 75 years on average, so they do live a really long time. I know we get a lot of gators because people get them as pets because they think they're really cool, and gators do not make good pets. You already were in the land of the giants, so you saw our big guy Bubbles.
Oh, that one is huge. It's like the one in the Peter Pan.
So that one, how old is that one?
I don't know how old he is, but I know he's about 10 and a half feet.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's like baby, this one?
Yeah,
Like
he's
a
only a
super
couple
baby.
years old.
Okay.
But he will get to that size.
Wow.
But yeah, they're super cool. And I always point out to people that they do have like these little claws, but they don't really use the claws for like defense. They use them for digging because these guys will dig burrows and nests down by the water. And their tails are super, super powerful. They act pretty much like a rudder on a boat, so they help them swim, but they'll also use it if there's like prey, they can use their tail to whack prey towards them to get into their mouths. You don't want to touch his face. If he headbutts you, like their heads are super, super hard. They're also armored. But I'll show you guys. He also has what we call a third eyelid. It's a nictitating membrane. Did you see that little
like
clear
the cat.
film go over his eye?
Yeah.
So that's so he can keep his eyes open underwater. But he's still protected. He won't get any dirt or debris in there.
Actually, where's their ear?
Yeah, where's the ear?
The ear?
Does it have a, like, they do have an ear, right? Can they hear?
Yep, they can hear. So they have little,
Oh.
yeah, they're little dots kind of by the side of their head. I'm not going to poke at them too much. But yep, they can definitely hear. But usually when they're hunting prey, they kind of wait for prey to come to them. They can run usually about 11 miles an hour on average. But
They run.
They don't have a ton of energy. So they like to stay in the water and wait for something to come by, and then they'll jump out. That's why, you know, a lot of the times in Florida and stuff, you hear about, you know, little kids or maybe like dogs sometimes getting attacked by a gator. It's not because gators actively hunt people or try to go near people, but if you're walking by the water, they're not looking at what's walking by. They're just gonna jump out because they see movement.
佢而家叫醒佢，皇帝咁啊佢啦。
And we actually have 2 kangaroos here, but one is on a show right now. Our female is on the show. So our female is Naomi. This is Tico. He's a little bit smaller than a wild male would be, and he doesn't have the pretty red color that a wild male would because he was actually neutered when he was younger.
Okay.
So typically in the wild, a full-grown male kangaroo would stand about 6 feet tall and look super jacked, and their color would change a bit. But he's not as big. He is bigger than our female, but not as big as a wild male kangaroo would get. And their skin is actually super, super tough. Like when we go see the owls, we wear an owl glove with all of our birds of prey. They actually use kangaroo skin for the birds of prey gloves because that's how tough their skin is, that the birds of prey talons can't pierce through it. And their tails are pretty much pure muscle. They use it almost as an extra leg. So if they were going to, you know, kick at you, they could lean back completely on their tails and kick. It helps with their balance when hopping. And their legs are super, super powerful. They can actually hop like from one position 6 feet away.
Wow. Hello.
Hey, and I don't know if I mentioned her name's Aquila.
Aquila?
Yeah, and she's super, super sweet. They are rodents, and they're the second largest rodents in North America, second only to the beaver. They have really poor eyesight, but they have a great sense of smell. They are herbivores, so they eat mostly fruits, grasses, leaves. They'll eat tree bark. And because they're rodents, their teeth grow continuously, so they need to chew a lot to wear down their teeth because they'll get super, super long. And contrary to popular belief, they do not shoot their quills. That's a myth. They have to actually make contact with you. Dogs get quilled a lot because they try to get behind and sniff the butt, which just happens to be where many of the quills are. But they don't actively go around trying to quill people. In fact, they spend a lot of time up in the trees. So every time I've ever seen one in the wild, it's been up in a tree. So they're great climbers.
These are fun.
I can't climb.
They're still fun.
I guess. They're also pretty decent swimmers because their quills are hollow, so it kind of helps them stay afloat. And another cool thing about the porcupines is that their quills have actually been found to have antibiotic properties. I just always keep the head away just for safety purposes.
Alright, I would just touch it.
But this is Dazzle, and he's a Doom Rules boa. He's an awesome snake.
Smooth.
Yeah, their scales are actually made out of keratin, like the same thing our hair and fingernails are made out of. So every time people are like, I don't want to touch that snake, it's slimy, I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
fingernails aren't slimy, they're not slimy. But yeah, you would only find these guys on the island of Madagascar, and they're pretty small as far as boas go. They only max out at about 6 to 8 feet. Typically, female snakes get longer than male snakes. If you want, you can hold his back end.
Oh my God.
I've got his head.
你幫我影相。
佢好唔情願咁樣。
You guys can come right on in.
係啊，搞笑啊！
擺入嚟咧，走咗隻咯。
And just don't stick your fingers in his face, but you can pet him right on the back.
Okay.
His name's Obadiah. He's a Eurasian eagle owl. They look kind of like the great horned owls around here, but they are different. You would only find these guys in Europe and Asia, whereas you could see the great horned owls around here. And we do actually have a great horned owl at the zoo. He's a couple enclosures over. His name's Isaiah. And we do actually have two of these guys. So we have Obadiah, who's our male, and we have Petra, who's our female. They did used to live together, but now we say that they're happily separated because Petra tried to beat up Obadiah, and Obadiah is a nice boy and did not want to tolerate that. So now they live separately where they can still see each other, but he's safe from her wrath. But the females are actually bigger than the males in this species, so he has a wingspan of about 4 to 5 feet, and they can have wingspans of about 5 to 6 feet. And when you pet them, you'll see that their fur is like super, super smooth.
Yeah,
I should say feathers, not fur. But they're kind of water repellent. So if it was raining a lot, they'd go right off his back. But they do also have fur underneath all those feathers. So see how far my finger goes in?
Wow. So you're not fat, you're just, you know.
No, he's like, I'm just
hair.
fluffy.
Yeah.
Because they can live in all climates. So they can live in the heat, they can live in the cold.
今日開唔開心啊？阿咪咪，
開心啊！
呢個屋企呢個八婆。
我最開心係掂嗰條鱷魚仔，因為其實蛇我掂過。
我想講蛇係最核突。
唔係蛇我係唔係其實我似蛇我喺個 friend 屋企掂嘅，佢仲係佢自己屋企後院捉翻嚟嘅，係大條喎呢條。我蛇我掂過係淨係可以 hold 住啦。 跟住之後Kangaroo 我掂過，但
我未見過我未掂過 Kangaroo， 但係佢真係好 chill 啊，佢好 chill 啊。
但係我嗰陣掂嗰隻係 BB Kangaroo 咯，即係我喺條街度見過大隻嗰啲係校巴經過嗰陣會見到，我哋平時真係好誇張。
哇！佢做咩去跌親啊？
佢唔會跌親啊！
佢嚟啦！
但我想餵草泥馬。呢度。哇！勁多張。
喂，佢又上場啦！影咗好多張啦。
OK， 到你啦。
我唔餵啊，好污糟啊。
OK， 咁我哋繼續玩呢個，我覺得呢個幾好玩。
阿炒年媽，
你幫我掂先，你俾我掂。
我可以掂佢。喂，佢擺咗喺佢個頭腦，之後喺個頭腦食啊賤人。
哎呀跌晒！
喂，好撚賤啊！
唔係因為你想掂佢係掂唔到佢㗎，你除非咁樣係啊，佢會走嘅因為。
得意啊你！哇你個頭佢掹咗佢啲毛，
我對唔住你啊！唔係喎，啲毛好似唔係你喎，金色嘅喎，唔係但好似真係你喎。頭頂有啲金色毛。我哋
佢會唔會咬人㗎？
唔會啊。
佢係咪跌晒啦？
呢度，佢唔知喺度，唉算啦，由佢啦，佢唔係太識啊佢。呢度，呢隻就識喺呢個頭頂度識。
呢個冇啦嘛？
有啊，仲有個底啊。
真係好煩啊！
俾個空啊！
真係好煩啊！佢係咁咧，將嗰啲食物咧擺咗喺佢個頭嗰度。哇！好大啦個！
唔俾佢食喎佢，俾個空你食。哇！好勁啊！過嚟喺個頭度。點啊？你唔係食咩？你唔食啊？呢度啊？你唔食啊？
真係好撚煩啊！哇！
你抹咗先，我計車度抹咗先再玩咯。你使唔使影下你個樣啊？
佢噴嘢
你好多空喺度，
好核突啦！
我哋去，你個鏡頭都有，
核突啦！救命啊！